As a scientist who's studied environmental threats for more than a decade, I can say with certainty that Dr. Nancy Beck is a bad choice to chair the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Her fringe scientific views and her alarming record on public health make her wholly unqualified for the job. While Dr. Beck is the scientist, we need only take a brief look at her history to see clearly that her views are anything but mainstream and her actions anything but responsible. Instead, she has an extensive record of challenging scientific conclusions at every turn and interfering in science-based policymaking. While at the American Chemistry Council, Beck consistently challenged the weight of the evidence demonstrating the harm of chemicals, straying far from the conclusions of the broader scientific community. At the White House Office of Management and Budget, Beck's team made direct, substantive edits to scientific research, inflating uncertainty and even directly deleting scientists' statements on potential health harms. This is not the work of a responsible scientist. At the Environmental Protection Agency, Beck has tried to limit EPA's chemical assessments, abandoning the agency's obligation to consider the many ways that people can be and are harmed by chemicals in consumer products. In her current role, Beck was likely responsible for rewriting an EPA evaluation on the dangerous chemical TCE to downplay its link to fetal heart defects. And just last month, news broke that Beck herself worked to suppress guidance from the Centers for Disease Control experts on COVID-19 from ever reaching the public. But I'm not alone in assessing Dr. Beck's views as fringe. In 2006, the National Academy of Sciences called Beck's work at the EPA oversimplified and fundamentally flawed. A House Oversight Committee slammed Beck in a 2009 report outlining her direct interference with science while at the White House. And the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals shot down her proposed changes too. Throughout her career, Beck's disregard for scientific independence and its harm to the public is clear. As a scientist, I'm concerned about Beck's actions at the CPSC, but as a mom of 2 young children, I'm alarmed. At the CPSC, Beck will oversee science-based decisions that will affect your family and mine. She'll have to make judgment calls about how safe a child's stroller is, how many infant deaths is enough to recall a crib, and how much lead is too much for contamination in a child's lunchbox. How can I trust that she'll choose to protect my children with her record of going against the science and failing to protect people time and time again? If her record is any indication of how she will act, we cannot trust her at all.